Ladies and gentlemen, of late, the Cabinet Secretary for SMEs and Microfinance, that is Wycliffe Oparanya, is in trouble. When he was nominated and even got appointed subsequently as the Cabinet Secretary in that particular docket, he had some cases in court which were eventually withdrawn, just like many other leaders who were appointed to President William Ruto's regime. We had Rigathi Gachagua during his time, his case was withdrawn and his money returned. We had someone like Mithika Linturi, who was also having a case in court that was withdrawn. We have Kamau Thuge, the central bank governor, who was also having a case in court that was withdrawn, amongst many others. So when these cases were withdrawn, it was believed that also Wycliffe Oparanya, his case was to be withdrawn entirely. Of course, the withdrawal starts from the DPP. Now, recently, the courts ruled that the application to withdraw the cases against Wycliffe Oparanya were declined. And in fact, some other more case, I think, was introduced in relation to money laundering. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not usual for such a thing to happen in William Ruto's government, especially to his ally. Not easy. It rarely happens. So in a nutshell, it could be true that, of course, Wycliffe Oparanya could be having some charges that he needs to face. And there are some allegations which could be true and that he needs to really be in court. But also, it is also not a coincidence that we are getting this kind of charges while in office in William Ruto's cabinet. It's not possible. Therefore, there must be something that has happened politically which is pushing for William Ruto finally to allow the system to take its course. And that is what I want to take you through here today. The reasons as to why Wycliffe Oparanya is now facing the charges in court. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My name is Abel Mukwa. My number is always here. Feel free to engage me, talk to me. For those who want to encourage me, please do. For those who want to support the channel, you are free to do so, ladies and gentlemen. And usiogope support the channel. Let me dive into the topic today before I take you through. Please let me give you 2 seconds to subscribe. Thank you so much for the subscription, ladies and gentlemen. Now, first of all, once you're nominated or maybe appointed to a certain position in government by President William Ruto, or maybe nominated by Raila and Ruto, there are some requirements that you must be aware of. 1, you must dance to the tune of William Ruto and Raila and Ruto, more especially if you've served in any position in the country or in the government before. Dance to the tune of the two. If you don't, you face the wrath of the two. Now, what could have led to Wycliffe Oparanya facing these problems? In the recent past, Wycliffe Oparanya has been very silent. Not just silent, but also absent from Raila Amolo Odinga's functions and even William Ruto's public functions. But he has been seen holding private functions, where he is the person who is in charge, especially in Western Kenya. The silence itself communicates probably there's an issue, or Wycliffe Oparanya is not interested to support William Ruto in 2027. So upon William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga noticing that, they decided now to get back to him and ensure that he's intimidated so that he can get back to line. These cases might be withdrawn or they might be pushed depending on the reaction by Wycliffe Oparanya. But the fact remains, ladies and gentlemen, that his silence could have communicated mistrust to William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. As a result, they had to tune something to remind Wycliffe Oparanya that his future is in the hands of the two. That is number 1. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, recently, the ODM party conducted grassroots elections in Kakamega County, where the chairperson was to be elected, the chairperson of that county. And surprisingly, ladies and gentlemen, Wycliffe Oparanya had his preferred candidate. And then, of course, Raila Amolo Odinga had his preferred candidate. And in ODM, you don't win a seat unless you have been accepted by Raila Amolo Odinga as the leader of that particular position. So Fernandez Baraza had the blessing of Raila Amolo Odinga. So ladies and gentlemen, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya went against that kind of a wish by Raila Amolo Odinga. Of course, Fernandez Baraza won, but it indicated clear to Raila Amolo Odinga that Ambetsa Oparanya is against him. And as a result now, Ambetsa Oparanya is facing his cases in court. A clear indication that it is Raila Amolo Odinga who had laid a hand on him. Now he has removed the hand and Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya has remained exposed. Now he's facing the wrath of William Ruto. I also think strongly that there could be a possibility that Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya has been approached by the opposition leaders. And the intelligence, or the NIS, has informed President William Ruto that your ally has been approached and there are communications that are on. So, upon discussing the Raila Amolo Odinga, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is now facing the wrath of the two. That is very possible. Why is this happening? This is because Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is not an easy figure to deal with in the Western region. If he joins the Tawe movement as we speak today, then, considering also that Kakamega County is the capital of the Western region, then the perception that will be created in the Western region is that William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga are weak. And indeed, in 2027, that will have a great impact in relation to where the votes are going to head to in the presidential race. Ambetsa Oparanya has a huge influence, considering that he was a performer during his time, the best performing governor in the Western region. So in a nutshell, the moment he comes on board as a leader, the fact remains that William Ruto's side will appear to be weak, and that one of position or the Tawe movement will appear to be stronger. And eventually, Ambetsa Oparanya will go down. And eventually Raila Amolo Odinga will be defeated at the ballot in 2027 in the Western region, together with this team. So to stop Oparanya from advancing, they have to intimidate him the way it is happening right now. Whether the cases are genuine or not, that has to happen to stop Oparanya. Ladies and gentlemen, I also have to state it here that I feel William Ruto is intimidating this gentleman so that he can feel weak, so that he can run to William Ruto for safety. Yes, William Ruto can work with Raila Amolo Odinga, but can Raila Amolo Odinga stop anything? No. Who is capable of doing that? William Ruto. So probably William Ruto tried to make some approach to Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, but Ambetsa Oparanya became adamant. William Ruto decided, acha tumfinye, ndiye arudi back. So kufinywa ndiye arudi back to William Ruto. So saya amefinywa, what is remaining kurudi kwa William Ruto for begging and mercy. So eventually be loyal to William Ruto than Raila Amolo Odinga. So that is basically what is happening. I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section you can share with me, ladies and gentlemen, on what to think as far as the Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is concerned. See you next time for more videos. My name is Abel Mugwa.